We're going live right now. Couple of seconds. Hey guys, how y'all doing out there? I'm Doug Best. I'm with my main man, and you guys are gonna stay with me. Nav, say the name, man.
Nav like navigation.
Nav like navigation here. I don't know. I pushed the button. I don't know what button I pushed there. Okay, Nav like navigation right here. Let's put the sign right there. He's running for District 7. That's my home district, even though I got properties in District 6, where the rich people stay. And then we got property District 7. That's where my personal home is at. And we got a lot of property here on District 3, the Golden West Side, where I was grew up at. Okay, so Nav, guys, he gonna introduce himself, and then Nav, I just want to ask you just do one thing that you hear. Man, I want you to just relax and talk to the regular people.
Love it. Yep.
The Doug Best Show is for the regular people. And then I was telling somebody the paradigm has shifted from ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, CNN. Everybody's probably watching and coming to the podcast, man. I'm happy that you're here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, guys.
Look forward to the conversation. And I think you're right. I think the way we all consume news, the way we all consume media has really changed over the last few years. So many of my friends, they'll send me tweets all throughout the day, and that's really how I get breaking news. I still like to read, the New York Times, LA Times in the morning.
Just on you.
I love it. So yeah, I've had I've also changed how I consume my news, but I still like to occasionally, or actually pretty much daily, go out and read the New York Times, the Washington Post, just to keep up with current events.
So you're like a bookworm if you're doing all that.
I have a pretty good morning routine. At night, I'll kind of close the day out and listen to like a podcast myself. But in the mornings, I like to read the news in the morning.
I'm happy that you're here, man. And here, I'm very happy that you're here. And what guys probably wondering, every time that I change the camera, I got to make sure that the volume is up. Because previously, some people said, we can't even hear you, Doug. And I know that my voice booms. So, Nav, like navigation. So just tell us a little bit about yourself. You got kids?
I don't know. I am probably one of the younger candidates running for city council anywhere. I'm 26 years old, and but I still think about a lot of the decisions the Fresno City Council makes. It'll impact my generation and the generations that come after me. The city council is in charge of our city budget. It's in charge of our city's land use policy decisions. So in charge of our public safety. And the type of city that we build has impacts for generations to come. So, there's a lot of work you can do during your 4 or 8 years you get to be a council member, but then a lot of the seeds you plant are going to grow. And I hope to, if the voters will allow me the good fortune of being able to serve as the next District 7 council member, there's seeds I'll get to plant that I'm not going to see during my tenure on the city council. It's going to be down the line. So
yeah, I seen a friend of mine. I was telling her that I was going to try to get you on the show. Her name was Eileen Reed, and she say that you were at one of the farms where there's a bunch of black people there. That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, so I think it was just this past week over in Southwest Fresno, the African American Community Alliance put together a candidate forum, and yeah, a lot of really productive conversations that we were able to have there.
So you seeing that, like, I guess the only word I can think about is just cross-pollinating, talking to all the different segments of the people in the community enhance you as well on District 7. True?
Yeah. And, I started this campaign about a year ago. Actually, it's been over a year. I launched in January of last year. I was the first candidate to declare my candidacy and, really did that early because there's 80,000 people that live in our district. In order to reach every single one of them, I've been out knocking doors every single day. Just got done doing about a 4-hour shift today. There's no better way of getting to know the district. And this is one of the most diverse districts in Fresno. And there's no better way to understanding the issues impacting each and every neighborhood outside of getting out there and knocking those doors and meeting people where they're at.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Now, before Mary, in my neighborhood, they got Neighborhood Watch. And Mary
Big fan of it.
Yeah, Mary was talking. I said, who is this guy? And then, I talked to my neighbor across the street. She's very, I was going to say nosy. I can't think of a nice one. She's a teacher. Her name's Nancy and Lloyd. And I was asking, I said, hey, this guy came to the door and he introduced himself. And he was saying, and I guess you told him that you were running for District 7 candidacy. And then I talked to a few of the other neighbors because in that house in District 7, we're not there that much. And I talk, everybody knows it, and then almost everybody in the neighborhood got signs with your name on it.
Very feeling very blessed about that, and thankful for those neighbors, and look forward to in about a year or so, if the voters allow me that good fortune, serving and delivering results for those neighbors.
Is it expensive?
You know, that's part of running for office. You have to raise money to get your message out. And you know, been fortunate to meet those fundraising goals that we've continuously set. We raised about $50,000 in 2024. Just getting ready to launch, we raised another about $50,000 in 2025. And we've raised some more money this past year too. And really, you know, that helps us put together neighborhood meet and greets. That helps me, you know, buy the literature pieces, buy the signs, run ads online, and really get the message out.
So do you use the social media? Because in my mind, man, I'm watching and learning. And I was telling somebody, I don't know what happened right there. I'm watching and learning, and I'm watching it and learning. I'll see what happened right there. Something for some reason.
Maybe that camera died, or no, it's plugged in.
The camera popped off.
Oh, or
okay, so we're still on camera 4.
You want to turn that one around?
I don't know. We see it right here. I'm just leaving. Just keep talking to him for a
Perfect.
little while now. And talk to the people. That's your camera right there.
Love it. Well, I'll go ahead and just kind of introduce myself and share a little bit of my background. I've had the good fortune of my family moved to this community when I was in 4th grade. Have had the good fortune of being able to go away for school twice. Went down to UCLA, majored in economics and public policy. Wanted to always, for me, once I was in Fresno, I knew this was where I was going to raise my family one day. This is where I was wanting to continue to grow up and also continue to give back. Had the good fortune of coming back and working at City Hall, and really got to see how government works from the inside. Decided I wanted to continue my education. Went off to UC Davis. Throughout law school, I started my own communications business. Did a lot of work on other political campaigns. Also worked with a lot of businesses, individuals. After that, as I was finishing up law school, once again wanting to move back home, decided to jump in and really try, you know, throw my hat in the ring and trying to build a better city and a better Fresno. Love it. Yeah, and I'm very active on social media. I think very easy to find. There's not a lot of Nav Gurms, especially here in Fresno. So if anyone's looking for me, I'm on Instagram, Nav for Fresno. On Facebook, we have our Nav Gurm for Fresno City Council Facebook page. We're also active on TikTok, on Twitter, you name it. We're trying to be everywhere where people are consuming content. You know, this race, like I said, for me, it didn't matter who jumped in. I started, you know, my campaign in January. I knew in any open seat, you're going to have other folks that will raise their hand and want to run for office. So we've been kind of focusing on our message. I've always said, you know, I'm not one to ever run a negative campaign. I think we have a lot to offer for the voters, and we're going to continue to share our message and share what we can do for Fresno. And I hope other candidates will do the same. For a little brief moment, there was one candidate I broke that rule for, and that was when a registered sex offender wanted to run for this seat. Yeah, I saw you did a video when he was giving Renee Campos, yeah, when he was giving public comment, and really I thought that was he was making a mockery of Fresno, and you know, he wanted his 5 minutes of fame, and the voters universally were going to reject him, and in fact he couldn't even get the 20 signatures. 20 of his neighbors were not willing to sign a form to say he should appear on the ballot and be a candidate for this race. So I think that shows where the voters were at with him. But yeah, he really turned what was supposed to be a local race into a national race, and glad that that's behind us and we can really start focusing on issues for Fresno. Oh, it looks like we got the camera back. Well, yeah, technology, it'll do that. Perfect.
Oh, perfect. Hey, guys, technology right here. You never know what might
Hey, you
happen.
troubleshooted that in real time. That was
Hey,
awesome.
what my first job was, a lot of people out there know. I was a handyman. Look, best handyman.
Love it. Hey, you've just looking
fixed
around
it,
this
baby.
office. You know have some apartments in town. You had a market in town.
Houses, 60
You've been a
houses.
Renaissance man.
Oh my God! And then we go. It comes back to my parents. I wonder if anybody out there with us, man. Somebody tuning in. And Nav, tell them people your name again, man, because I keep
Nav
saying-
Gurm. You know, my full name is Nav Gurm, but I've gone by Nav since I was in probably middle school. And then last name is Gurm, Gurm.
Right, for District 7, City Council, District 7. We had a gentleman on here. I love this guy. His name Wildfire. Star.
Wildstar. He's I think a
Ned.
candidate for Fresno City Council District 5.
Yeah, you know, I talked about him. I asked him, I was trying to press him about, I said, man, you going to throw bombs. You going to go get some money. He said, man, it don't really take that much money. But I see from the national perspective, people spend millions of dollars.
Yeah, I mean, I may have the numbers wrong, but I want to say the Harris Walls campaign back in 2024 raised $1 billion, or just a little shy of that maybe. But yeah, I mean, it does take some resources to get your message out. I don't know if a billion is what you need to run a presidential campaign. But yeah, at the local level, you know, you want to have a couple tens of thousands of dollars. It takes some money to be able to print your literature, put your signs up, hire some folks to help you knock some doors. Thankful to have a lot of volunteers that have been doing that as well. But
Young people or regular middle-aged people, or
most of the volunteers coming out have been typically college students. And you know, I'm 26 years old myself.
you got a lot of energy.
I'm not shy about sharing my age. I think I have something to offer, and other folks, other young folks have been also inspired, and you know, have been thankful to have a lot of other young people invested in this campaign as well. But we're running for Fresno. We're running for everyone in Fresno.
Yeah, I'm not going to stray too much in the money area, man. But I'm just in my mind, why would a person raise $1 billion for the presidency and they only make $250, $300 million, $300,000 a year? $1 billion, I don't know what $1 billion is.
Yeah, I
know
can't
it's
picture that amount either.
Oh my God! But
Even 0.1% of that would be real nice to have.
oh yeah, that'd be real nice to have. Yeah, man. So going back to District 7, what's the most prevalent needs that you see that we need in that community?
I mean, I think the needs are vast. Really, I think after having spent the last year listening to neighbors all across District 7, like I said, this is one of the most diverse districts in Fresno. We have old historical homes. We have, you know, a little bit of Old Fig Garden in our district, the part that's incorporated within the city. We have the poorer tracks by Fresno City, call it Huntington Park. We have, you know, the Mayfair neighborhood, Central Fresno, the Blackstone corridor, and it stretches all the way to East Fresno. To the eastern edge of the city. So it's a very, very diverse district, but across
It's the
board.
biggest district?
I don't know, biggest district. I mean, population wise, each district has about the same population, anywhere from 75 to 80,000 folks. But you know, across the board, I've consistently heard infrastructure. There's neighborhoods where there are sidewalks because old trees that were planted there, that those tree roots come under the sidewalk and cause the sidewalk to lift up. And for folks in those neighborhoods, that they're consistently telling me that's their number one issue.
Right.
Because, you know, it's a safety issue for children. It's a safety issue for elders. It's an ADA accessibility issue for folks that may be on a wheelchair or you know, have other ADA needs. So, you know, in other parts of the district, it's, you know, we got an elementary school right here. We need speed humps. There's cars driving too fast. So really want to be a council member that's both very responsive. I don't know if you've seen my literature piece yet, but I'll make sure you get one before I leave today.
I'm going to put the camera just on you. You talking to the people.
Love it. But yeah, no, I put my cell phone number on every flyer. It's the same number I've had since about 8th grade when I first got a phone. And
I text him, and actually you text me, huh?
Well, yeah, I replied to your Facebook post, and then you had sent me your number, so I texted you right away.
Right, that's beautiful.
But yeah, I want to be someone that people can get a hold of directly. You know, the commitment I'm going to have, I want to be a full-time council member. I know some folks will use this job and use it part-time.
So you can drive it home?
Love it. But yeah, I want to be a council member that is very easy to get a hold of, and there's no easier way than giving your cell phone to every single resident in this district. And I put it on every single flyer, everything we've sent in the mailbox. So I think, and even on social media, I'm very responsive, and I always try to act. If I don't check it throughout the day, during the day, I'll go and check it at the end of the day, to make sure that any messages that may have came in case I missed it, I get back to them right away. But really, I think I take the job of a council member. There's a lot of hats you have to be able to put on, but one of it is just providing customer service. If folks in District 7, to me, if I'm the next council member and folks in District 7 need help navigating city resources, whether it's starting a small business, whether they're having issues with their trash service, whether they're having infrastructure problems in their district, I want to be a council member they can, have direct access to that can help them navigate City Hall.
That's beautiful, man. And I say this all the time when I have a podcast. We try to do maybe 1 or 2 a week, and I always say the same thing for us, African Americans, black people. I say if something happens in the city of Fresno, who we got? Nobody. The only person that we got really that speaks fire is Reverend Dr. Floyd Harris. I don't know if you know him.
I've had the fortune of meeting him about once in
Yeah,
passing.
I'm talking about that's like the spokesperson that we have in the city. Of course, we got Keisha Thomas and Larry Burrows. They running for District 3. But if something happens in the city and we need to talk to a council person, I don't know nobody. I mean, I know somebody because I got some money. And then plus and I didn't have the fortune to be able to talk to a few people, and a lot of people that have been on the show. But I'm saying I'm not the average person. So now with you being here and you saying if you get elected, you're going to be accessible. It ain't going to be like somebody calling and Mr. Shaw says, Doug's busy right now. I don't want to get on the phone. You ain't going to be like that.
No, it's what I've
But what about them idiots that's going to be calling all the time? How you going to be? You going to got to be a gatekeeper somewhere.
I've been doing this for a year now where I'm knocking doors every day, and every single day I leave my cell phone number. It's the only phone I have, and it's the only phone I plan to keep if I'm elected as a city council member. So far, it's been really productive when people do call me and if I miss their call, I'll call them back. We've had, really productive conversations. I think, at the end of the day, I'm running to represent my own neighbors. Fresno, while we're 5th largest city, and I really love talking about how we should be doing more as the 5th largest city in California.
More like what?
I mean, I look at sports, I look at entertainment, I look at investments into, the inner city. I talk in terms of having more density in terms of our housing stock. But when it comes to, we still have a small town feel. And I think that does make Fresno special. And that's not something I want to lose sight of. So to me, everyone that lives in District 7 is my neighbor. And, I'm always happy to share my cell phone, and they've been people have been really respectful back. And, when people do call me and they have questions about my vision for their neighborhood or my vision for Fresno as a whole, we're able to have a lot of really productive conversations, and I hope to continue to do that as a council member.
So what about the downsides? We talk about, we always want to see the glasses half full, but is that something you could touch? Have you had some situations where, I don't know, for race or age or money or something where somebody for some reason, I know you don't touch that too much because you want to stay positive, but has that happened?
It happens occasionally, and
how
really,
you handle it? Do you get upset and turn it to?
Where it really happens is online. I mean, I've seen some people that love to, talk smack online, and most of it's pretty easy for me to ignore. And a lot of those folks don't actually live in Fresno. I call them trolls. You'll have the online
like
trolls.
50 Cent. 50 been trolling you.
Yeah, he hasn't trolled me. But
send him to the Doug Best Show. We need a troller, man. Send me an alley hoop to get us over 1 million subscribers.
Love it. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I'm unfazed by that. At the end of the day, when you sign up to run for office, when you sign up to put your name on the ballot, part of it is you're signing up for public scrutiny. People are going to look into your past. People are going to look into, what you're doing, and that's part of the responsibility that comes in stepping up to be in public service.
So did you tell the people about, you worked for the city councilman Nelson, and then you went back to school and got a degree, and you got a law degree? And
yeah.
practiced law at 26?
You
must be pretty smart, man.
I appreciate you saying that, and have really had it takes a community to raise anyone, and have been blessed to have great teachers along the way, great mentors along the way,
And a mom and a dad. That's the
yes,
most important
exactly,
thing.
and very
grandpa.
thankful to the parents that have been incredibly supportive over the years. But yeah, I finished out law school at the age of 25 at UC Davis. Graduated, took the bar, and thankfully it was probably the hardest test I've ever taken, but thankfully passed it on the first try and practiced law for a little bit. But now,
Which law?
I was doing employment law during the few months I practiced, but I went to law school to actually become a city attorney. But when I was graduating law school and applying to all the city attorney firms and the Fresno City Attorney's
What's the guy's
office,
name? James?
the current city attorney is Andrew Jans, but he has a staff of about, I want to say,
I seen
50.
a black guy in there. What's his name? I didn't know his name when I went to City Hall and I interviewed the child molester Campos.
Renee Campos.
Yeah, but I seen a black guy and I seen Jans up there and I seen the black guy. I said, man, we got a black guy on the roster.
I might have forgotten his name, but I think you're probably thinking of whoever's his chief assistant.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the city attorney's office in Fresno, I want to say have anywhere from 30 to 50 attorneys that work under there executing the day-to-day municipal functions and legal needs of the city of Fresno. But yeah, no, I worked at City Hall, looked at the attorneys across the hallway, and I was like, oh, that job sounds cool. So decided to go to law school. But once I started running for office myself, a lot of the city attorney law firms and the city attorney's office found that to be a conflict, which it is. So, while I was running for office, I couldn't go join a municipal law firm. And decided to start my career off with employment law, and then recently left to just be a full-time candidate and spend my day going on shows like this, knocking
I love you
on
for
doors.
that, man. I appreciate it too. I really, really appreciate it. And then that's what I was going to get to. I was just telling somebody just the other day, and they were saying, "Hey, Doug, you ain't on the air enough, man. You got to be more consistent." But my main focus, I'm an entrepreneur, and then in a month or so, we traveled around the world for 2 months. A black guy from the mud, from the projects, from the 50-cent food stamps, and climbing a tree for my daddy, a little kid with the rope. Now we get an opportunity to travel all over the world.
That's beautiful. That's the American dream.
That's the American dream, man. But to really, really, really make something super, super successful, you almost got to do it like you're doing. It's got to be 100%. I quit the job. I'm running for city council, and there's no second option because I'm going to win. That's the attitude it seems like you have.
Yeah, no, and if things don't work out, I can always go back to practicing law, and that's always going to be on the table. But I think the voters deserve a candidate that can reach them at any point of the day. Sometimes I've sent a mailer out not too long ago, and some folks called me. Then they had follow-up questions. I would just tell them, hey, is it okay? I can stop by your house right now, and we can have a conversation on your front porch. But really, yeah, I want to make sure I can talk to as many people as possible, learn from as many people as possible. I don't claim to always have all the answers.
You can't.
Yeah, there's just so many functions to the role, but I think by getting on the ground and getting to, in my neighborhood, I know what the needs are, and in the neighborhood right next to me, I know what the needs are. But our district stretches all the way from Fresno City College all the way to the east edge of the city, so I'm never going to not know what's happening in every single neighborhood. By building those relationships with, people that live in each and every neighborhood, it's going to make me a better council member too if I do have the good fortune of being elected.
And then what about for the Honorable Mayor Jerry Dyer, Nick Richardson, and all the other people that's Aries and all those other people, Nelson, all those people that's on the roster right now. You got rapport with them?
Yeah, having worked at City Hall, I definitely got to know a lot of city leaders. I was doing public policy work for Councilmember Esparza before I went to law school. And over the course of this campaign, I've been taking meetings with our city unions, with the other elected officials, with community leaders, with neighborhood leaders. So we built some relationships. We already had some relationships going into the council race. And there's 4 seats that are up for city council election right now. All the odd number districts, so District 1, District 3, District 5, and District 7, all are open races right now.
Which means what, though? The other people then
they're termed out.
Termed out.
So, in Fresno, you get 8 years, and then you're termed out, just kind of like the presidency. You get 8 years there. You could do 2 4-year terms. So Councilmember Esparza's termed out right now, and I've had a great relationship with him for many, many years. Also have gotten to know the mayor a lot over the last
Is
few
any of them
months.
helping you? Is any of them saying that Nav is a great guy?
Yeah, no, thankful to, I had earned the support endorsement from council member Esparza Maxwell, who represents District 4, and Annalisa Preo, who currently represents District 1, pretty early on in 2025.
I haven't seen it on the social media. That's the social media is the paradigm that's changing things. I tell people that all the time. Say, man, if we get 1 million people, everybody's gonna be compelled to come on the Doug Best Show.
Yeah.
'Cause 1 million people listen to us.
You build that momentum.
Then so the guys out there that don't know, well, why would you spend your time on a podcast, man? Because if the podcast get big, and this for black people out there now, for the podcast, if it get big and something happening in our community, we got a voice. If we don't have one person down there in the city hall, but we got 1 million people, this is a show for the people. This ain't no show for the money.
Yeah.
This is a show for the people, and that's why I'm glad you're here. But go ahead, I cut you
You're
off.
doing a public service in your own right. And over the last year, I met with Mayor Dyer. If I have the good fortune of being elected, Mayor Dyer terms out at the end of 2028, so I'll have about 2
He been
years.
termed now for 40 years, man. He's been around long as I
Well,
can
yeah,
remember, man.
he's dedicated his life to public service, and prior to becoming mayor, he was
And his
obviously
dad, I didn't realize that his father was involved in the police department for something, because I seen something on the
Yeah.
social media. His father had died.
and his father did pass away. I believe they're having services on April 1st.
Yeah, the first I seen it, but I was wondering. I said, man, would it be in good taste if we send some flowers, if we say something? I wasn't sure. I was kind of convoluted about
Yeah,
that.
no, I sent the mayor a condolence message when I got the news, and and to your earlier point, after a few meetings, Mayor Dyer eventually endorsed my campaign, so I was really honored to earn his support as well. And since I started this campaign, I've had the same 2 words on my website at the top of it, which is coalition builder. And that's really the attitude I'm taking into this role. It's bringing people together to solve problems.
All people.
I am a registered Democrat, but for me, it doesn't matter if someone's a Democrat, Republican, Independent. If they live in Fresno and they're facing a problem, I want to be someone that can help solve those problems.
Okay, I hear you saying that, but I'm just once you get in the position, there's gonna be so many people gonna be trying to get an audience with you. But you're gonna have a gatekeeper. You're gonna have some kind of priority about even in here, man. Everybody that comes in the best taxes, you can't talk to me. Some people gotta go over there and talk to Mr. Shower or talk to my senorita, because sometimes I just be so busy, and I got to stay focused. And when I stop, I gotta go back and remember what I did. That's going to be a difficult task to be a people person.
I've created my own business, worked with a number of clients, balanced law school, the city council members, they have some staff that helps them out complete their responsibilities. We'll start up the structures in place to be able to. But for me, if I'm in there, the priority is going to be to always be accessible, right. And that's going to mean holding multiple town halls every year. It's going to be me. It's going to be going to every single community event in the district that I can be at, making sure we're tabling at every single community event and sharing updates with the city, what's going on in the city, and then continuing just being accessible. And maybe the response time might have to get a little bit longer, and we'll have to calendar something. But I try to always return every phone call, and if someone wants to show me something going on in their neighborhood, I'm always going to show up on the ground.
And I was going to ask you about just a little social issue, just Drewski. You seen Drewski on?
No, I'm not familiar.
Oh, okay, I ain't gonna say the wrong thing here, man.
Go for it.
But Drewski, he did a little parody, I ain't gonna say that, man, because he might offend some people. And then no, I want to say nothing about Drewski, but he got 50 million people, man, that he did like a little sorry.
Was this a podcast?
Yeah, no, it wasn't a podcast.
Okay.
I guess you could call it a podcast. He did something on the social media and had 50, 60 million people just looking at it, and it's been trending a lot. Drewski. Yeah, man, but I'm glad that you came here. And so I was just thinking, so what's the purpose for wanting to be a city councilman or I asked Floyd Harris this about a few months ago. Man, why would you want to be a social leader when you do everything that you do, and then at the end it's a thankless job?
For
Do
me,
you see it like that, or am I just saying, am I being negative?
for me, it's public service. You know, my fate's always told me to give back, and this is an opportunity for me to give back. I've had the good fortune of going away to school and living in LA, going away to school and living in Sacramento, and really
But I don't
seeing
know
what.
if living in LA is just like nothing special.
Yeah, I know what you mean,
Yeah.
but especially I look at I compare Fresno with Sacramento. Um,
They similar.
Sacramento's the sixth largest city in the state of California. Fresno's the fifth largest. But they have so much more. Their downtown is vibrant and thriving. You go outside of downtown into Midtown, and you have this density in every single neighbor or the Midtown corridor. They have more grocery stores per capita. They have more restaurants per capita. So I want to make Fresno act like it's the fifth largest city in California.
What
and
about homeless though? That's the issue.
yeah, and homelessness is an issue everywhere
I
in
think
California.
the mayor tackling it a little bit, but I don't think he could do it all by himself.
Yeah, and I think with homelessness, we got to have a multifaceted approach. There's no one size fits all solution. Part of it is drug abuse. Part of it is mental health. But a part of it is affordability. We have to make sure that people don't fall into homelessness, and we're not growing the problem while we're trying to get people out of homelessness. So that's going to be a priority of mine, is making sure we're addressing those root causes, whether it comes to having emergency shelters available for someone that's in a housing vulnerability, but also making sure that we're with homeless folks, we're helping in terms of treatment, we're helping in terms of both mental health treatment and drug abuse treatment, and we're providing job
I
training.
gotta put that sign up so if the people didn't forget for 1 second, who we talking to? We talking to the superstar, 26 years old. And Nab, say your name so I don't screw up.
Nav Gurm for Fresno City Council, and if anyone wants to check out the website, navgurm.com.
And that's it.
I'm very easy to find. There's not a lot of Nav Gurms out there. So if you Google my name, you'll probably see all the social medias. You'll see some articles. You'll see my website. You'll probably be able to find my cell phone online too. That's the one thing I haven't done. I haven't put my cell phone too publicly online and just posted it around. But otherwise, especially if you live in District 7, you've probably gotten a campaign piece. You've probably seen me at your door already. Want to be a council member that can definitely be accessible.
That's beautiful right there, man. Just keep talking, and then let's go a few more minutes, man. And then I'm gonna put the camera on you, and then I just want you to just take a few minutes and just talk to the regular people out there about. Say, man, a lot of people. I was talking to Wild Star the other day, and he was saying, man, the average person might not necessarily be even concerned about voting. And Nav, if you can, man, just break it down in its most simplest terms about it's probably thousands and probably tens of thousands of people that can change the tide of the election, and they just regular people like me that get up and go to work every day.
Absolutely.
But they don't vote. How can you touch them? What do they call those people right there that don't vote? And you could touch them. If you get tens of thousands of them, you got an automatic win.
Yeah.
I mean, camera on you.
What I'll say to that is, as I was kind of going, I'm a student of history. Voting rights didn't come easy. The ability for people of color to be able to vote, the ability for women to be able to vote, there was generations before us that had to fight for those rights. Mm-hmm. So I've voted ever since the day I turned 18. I've yet to ever miss an election, and hope I can live a long and fruitful life and never miss an election throughout my life either. Because to me, it's a sacred right. Mm-hmm. It's our voice. There's no better power to voice what you want in the future of our country, the future of our state, the future of our city than the ability to vote. So I've always treated it like a sacred right, and I hope more people realize the power of their vote.
Right, I agree with you. And then, so do they see Fresno as a sanctuary city?
I don't think Fresno is classified as a sanctuary city, but if you're asking for my position on that, it's likely something. Well, the state has California as a sanctuary state. I forgot that state bill number. But what I'm seeing happening at the national level when it comes to immigration is abhorrent. I am really disgusted by the violence our ICE is
I was going
deploying
to
in the
ask you
street.
about ICE, but I said, man, do I touch that one?
I think when you look at what's happening at the national level in other major cities across this country, it makes your heart break. There's confirmed cases of citizens being arrested. When they started this, they said they were going after the criminals, but what we're seeing day in and day out is that's not what they're doing. So if I will do everything in my power if I'm the council member to ensure that we push back here in Fresno. And we've been thankful to not have what's happening in Minnesota, what happened in LA happen here in Fresno, but President Trump will still be in the White House unless he's impeached. By the time
You don't leave the
elected.
office just by being impeached, though. So
Also true. You have to have the Senate. But yeah, no, I think my position on ICE is pretty clear.
So you're gonna be closer to the Honorable Mayor Jerry Dyer, or you're gonna be closer to the Supervisor Gary Bredefield? They seem like they polar opposite. I'm not sure though.
Well, I'll say this: Mayor Dyer has endorsed me, and I think me and Supervisor Gary Bredefield probably disagree on quite a bit. But I want to be someone that can bring in Supervisor Bredefield to have better partnerships between the city and the county, because the conditions of your roads, the conditions of our sidewalks, how easy or hard it is to open a small business in Fresno, those types of issues aren't partisan issues. And I think everyone in our community can agree that it should be easier to open a business in Fresno. Every community deserves. I know we talked a little bit about District 6 and District 7. You go and look at the roads right River Park up by River Park.
That's Nick Richardson. Nick was on the show, but I seen Nick when I went in there, the city council, whenever I interviewed the pedophile, molester, whatever the guy's name is, Renee Campos. But for me, I watch Nick. He's out there with the rich people. I go out there once a week on Champaign and Shepherd for physical therapy. And I went, they got a library out there, man. It's so beautiful. It almost looked like a college university. So Nick seemed like a straight shooter, man. I ain't never seen nobody say he's no bullshit artist. If you're a bullshit artist, you could be Jesus. No, that's not good. I shouldn't have said that.
I think Councilmember Nick Richardson definitely, wears that on his sleeve. He tells it like it is, and that's something.
Bredefield seemed like a straight shooter too. I don't know him.
Yeah, I would say that. I might have some fundamental disagreements with him on some topics, but I'm never afraid of having a conversation. I try to approach every conversation with compassion, with respect, and try to find solutions that are going to make Fresno better.
And then what about our community, man, the African Americans community? So District 7, it's not that area that I stay in. 20 years ago, I bought the house with no black people over there at all. None. Yeah. There's not that many black people over there now, but I got a bunch of property in District 3 too. But so how would it work, man? Just say if you stayed in District 3, Southwest Fresno, but you don't have a relationship with Aries, but you only got a relationship, with Nav. How could the people come talk to you and maybe just get some information and some guidance?
Yeah, no, and for me, leadership starts by listening. So for every community in Fresno is valuable. Every community's voice in Fresno matters. So I'll be ensuring I go out and talk to every community and anyone that wants to get a hold of me. If I'm the District 7 council member, obviously the residents of District 7 are the first and foremost priority. But if you live in another part of town and you want to have a conversation, my door's always going to be open.
Yeah, for some guidance. And man, so what happened oftentimes, I grew up in West Fresno, oftentimes we be ignorant or lack of knowledge, and don't mean you stupid, man. It means that you just don't know. And sometimes it could be something simple to say, Councilman Nav, man, I don't really know what to do. Could you just guide me in the right direction, how to try to solve this problem? I think a lot of people in the West Fresno area might need that. And whoever comes on the show, I'm going to ask them the same thing, is what can you do to help my people, the black people?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
We everywhere, though. I'm everywhere.
For me, it's going to be listening to you and learning from you and seeing how I can be a bridge and how our city government can be a bridge to solving needs. And, some of the problems facing South Fresno are the same across the board. We need more investment when it comes to grocery stores. We need more investment when it comes to our parks. We need more investment when it comes to our sidewalks, making sure trees are being trimmed on site. Those are the basic quality of life things that really have a large impact on our day-to-day lives, much more than the decisions made in Washington, D.C., the decisions made at the state capitol, the decisions made at City Hall affect us more directly than any other level of government. So, it's always going to start with listening. It's always going to start with fighting for my district, fighting for every neighborhood and every resident that lives in that district. And being, someone who can always, one thing I'll end, kind of say this. As I'm knocking on doors, I try not to make a lot of promises because at the end of the day, I understand the city's going to be facing budget deficits as I become the next council member. I have my share of priorities and things that I'm going to fight really hard to deliver on.
And the number one priority is what?
Infrastructure, fixing roads, taking care of our sidewalks.
But you're only going to be one person, 7 people, and then you got the mayor. So you're going to be 1 out of 8. So how you're gonna have to create a coalition of people on
absolutely
on the rostrum.
And that's one thing we've tried to show this through this campaign by that we mean it in earnest when we say we're a coalition builder, or I'm a coalition builder, and that's the type of attitude I'll have. And kind of peel the onion on some policy stuff going on. Measure C, the measure that funded construction of Highway 168, the construction of Highway 180. It's up for renewal, and the new version of Measure C that's being crafted right now is going to be focused on existing roads. And so really it sets up a real opportunity to make historical investments in our for our existing roads or for existing sidewalks. And for me, if I'm the next council member, I'll make sure that investment goes into District 7, goes into South Fresno as a whole, because I don't think of it in terms of we should split the money equally amongst the whole city. Where the highest needs are, that those areas should get priority. And there's neighborhoods in District 7 that haven't been repaved in 40 years. Yeah. And those residents deserve to have their streets repaved.
Actually, in my area over in District 7, they repaved the area, man. And we got another property not too far from my personal house is. They went over there and just put the black tar on it. But in my neighborhood, Mary and all the people in that neighborhood, I guess they stayed on the councilman. They stayed on it, man. They repaved those roads. What it looks like. We was in Phoenix last year. Looks like Phoenix, beautiful.
Yeah, I've walked around in your neighborhood and drove around it a few times, and every neighborhood in Fresno should have their streets look like that. And that's something. It
looks like River Park, baby. Nick Richardson.
It does, and I'm sure it has a direct impact on your quality of life.
It make you feel better.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. It gives you also more pride to be part of the neighborhood you're living in.
Yeah, guys, I'm out there, man. Just a lot of people that have been on the show with me, and then I ain't endorsed nobody, but I'm listening to him right now. And then me, I'm independent. If it's some bullshit, I'm gonna tell you the truth. But this guy right here, man, he's coming across. Either he's sincere, or he's the greatest actor, the greatest con artist on the planet Earth. But I'm feeling everything you're saying, man. I'm feeling it. So just time to tell, and then we still got a little while. We leave the country in a month. We go travel around the world for a couple of months. We was gonna go to China, but we changed it. We gonna go to South Korea. We always go to Mexico for 2 or 3 weeks. Washington D.C., but we gonna go to South Korea. And then by the time we get back, what month is the election?
The election is June 2nd. The ballots go out about a month before. So I think you're leaving, May 20th?
May 20th.
So you'll probably have your ballot in your mailbox early May. So I hope no matter how you vote, ensure that you vote before you head out on this trip.
Yeah. I'm favoring you right now. So it's I seen today, what's the other guy's name is AJ, and I seen somebody else that was put a sign up. So no, you can't put the sign over here. No, because we got your sign in front.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, but the pleasure's all mine. Then we going to just close it out and then, just give you a final spiel to the people.
Yeah.
And hopefully before we leave, you could come back.
I would love that, and maybe I can come on next year as a council member too.
Beautiful.
But really, the final promise I'll make is the same promise I make at every single door in District 7, which is 3-part. I promise to always work my hardest if I have the good fortune of being elected. I promise to always be honest and transparent, and I promise to always be accessible. So I hope to continue having conversations with residents all across District 7, and hope to earn the trust and the respect, trust and the vote of the voters. Thank you.
Yeah, guys, it's been a pleasure sitting here speaking to Nam for these few minutes. It's been a great pleasure, man. I'm happy that you came. Then I just want to just wish you a lot of success, and anybody else that's out there that's willing to come and be a candidate on the Doug Best Show and just speak. I'm gonna make sure that I'm always gonna be fair. I'm always gonna be straight, but you got to be straight with me. I'm gonna be prepared. Believe me, I'm gonna do my due diligence. Anything in the social realm, anything on the computer, anywhere, I'm gonna know. I'm gonna do my homework. I'm gonna study it. It might seem like I'm gonna be studying everything. I'm gonna know every position you have. All you gotta do is be straight. I'm gonna give you a fair shot. The show is growing, and this is a show for the people. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Doug, and wish you the best on this journey. I know you have a lot of other endeavors, and you're a true entrepreneur, but I wish this show a lot of success.
Okay, I'll see you soon, man.
Thank you, sir.
Stop here, and we always got to close it out.
Love it.